My name is Arin Lindauer, and you're listening to A Life Without Struggle. I'm a wife, a mother of 2 wonderful children, a 2-time best-selling author, and a highly driven and successful entrepreneur. In my 17-plus year career as a mindset and health expert, I know what holds women back from a life you only dream about. Whether you're a CEO, a businesswoman, or executive, I started this podcast because I have been where you are, and I know you want and deserve more out of your life. I believe women are limitless. We just get lost along the way. The process to get you there is the topic and purpose of this podcast. When you understand what you want, you can truly step into a life without struggle. Welcome, and I'm so thankful you're here. Welcome back to another episode of Life Without Struggle. My name is Arin Lindauer, and today we're going to dig into stepping into unknown territory. So I want to speak to you today very personally about what it's going to feel like when you're going on a journey such as a weight loss journey. And that's really who I want to speak to today. This is speaking to the woman that is working really hard on herself, who is desiring a certain outcome with her body, and you're feeling all the feels. See, I get a very intimate setting when it comes to understanding very, very deeply what women are going through. And a lot of this is just from my own personal, I had to hit rock bottom myself, really dig myself out of this to really craft and create how I personally help women just nail their goals and then some. And it's a very, very interesting space for me to sit in because, even myself, I've been getting to this whole next level of leanness with my own body. And I'm not just like this naturally lean woman that you see. I do carry adipose tissue, and I do have to be very, very intentional. And there are just certain body types that don't necessarily hold fat like others hold. And so I'm just going to speak into this that even myself, I have to work at this probably a little bit harder than what most people think I have to, but it's so worth it. It is so worth it. I was so giddy the other day. I lifted up my shirt to my husband and I was like, check it out. I'm like, I've got abs under here. And he genuinely kind of went, wow, nice job, babe. And I was not expecting that because normally Tony's just whatever, moves on. But I was just man, I'm so proud of this. And I'm so excited to just see the fruits of my labor and that, hey, it is worth it. And it's really hasn't been that hard. It's taken a little more time than I really desire. But I don't know. There's so much to learn in this process. And so that's where I want to dig into here today for you listening to this. And you're probably on a walk right now. You're probably in the car. You're probably in a moment where you've taken some time for yourself. And I just want to speak into you woman to woman that, if you have struggled with weight loss, or if you feel like this journey is just forever and it's taking all this bandwidth, I'm going to work you through this here today, because here's the thing that I know is you've probably been told 100 different things when it comes to here's how to do it. You're unsure of, okay, what works, what doesn't work. You're constantly questioning every little thing that you're doing. And it gets you into this unknown space, this unknown territory. And so I want to help equip you that you are on the right path, you're doing the right thing. And if you're not sure, this is why you need to have someone who has the knowledge to put together a proper program for you. Because here's the thing that I know is so frustrating and so devastating. I watch it just time and time again. I cannot tell you how many women I jump on the phone with and they're like, I can't lose weight. And every time I hear a woman, I literally will be in my document, I'll type the words, I can't lose weight, because I always want to go back to these women and say to them, especially post being in my program, do you remember that day? And I have it time stamped and dated. Do you remember that day when you told me you couldn't lose weight? Now what do you think? especially when they're 30, 40, 50 pounds down. I'm like, you can lose weight. Because every time I hear those words, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you because I'm just like, don't know how to put this all together to see yourself get over this hump and to be really real with yourself. See, so many times when a woman tells me that, I know that she has created a story. She's created this dialogue that she can't be successful, that she doesn't deserve these results, that she can't have these results for whatever reason. The other thing that I know on this is not the only place in her life that she doesn't see the results. So that's a very, very interesting one too. So I want to dig into this topic here today about stepping into this unknown territory. And it's very, very normal for you to feel like you're not in control, what works, what doesn't work. And this is where it's very, very important to have a proper program. And so you may be saying, okay, girl, what is a proper program? And so a proper program is going to address all your foundational pieces. To think about your sleep. I know that sounds so trivial, so dumb, but there's a huge hormone play that goes into this, and your hunger hormones. Also, this is where you recover. So there's a lot that goes into it, but I'm going to leave it right there. We also do need to address how much water you're taking in. Is your digestive system working pretty rhythmically? Are you having a bowel movement every single day? Those are important things to talk about. And just while we're on the digestive system, if you have relied on or are considering some of these very, very tempting drugs, listen, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for being tempted to get injected with a peptide that is being told that you will lose weight. Because here's the thing, of course, when you slow down digestion, which is what these peptides, what these injections are doing, you're going to feel full. But the things that they're not telling you is all of the gastric disruption you're going to have. They don't tell you about the bloating that you're going to feel. They don't tell you about the burping and the sick stomach that you're going to have. They don't tell you about, okay, when you went on just a very, very simple walk, you started throwing up in the bushes. Okay, nobody wants to tell you these things, and these are all personal things that I have had clients within my realm experience while being on these drugs. So it's extremely important for you to stay very, very educated. And again, I don't blame anyone for saying, hey, this might be able to help me, but I'm going to tell you there's always a cost. You're going to have to stay on this drug for the rest of your life, because the second you go off the drug, guess what? You stop having these feelings, quote unquote, or even worse, you'll have gastric paralysis. So I don't know about you, but I don't think I would do that when I haven't truly addressed the real problem. So the real problem comes in when we don't address our nutrition. Too many times we know what to eat, we're just unwilling to do it. So in addition to getting really good sleep, drinking a fair amount of water, and getting off of the sugary sodas, the pops, the diet pops, all the artificial sweeteners. Listen, there's so much research that is showing us that the artificial sweetener is not okay in your body. And that's like a whole nother podcast. So I want you to really understand, like, why are you consuming that beverage? What is that beverage doing or not doing for you personally? Is it helping you towards the goal or away from the goal? And those are real conversations to have. When it comes to the nutrition, you do have to eat in a proper amount. For most women, they know what to eat. I have seen this time and time again, but it is simply too much. It is simply too much. Or we're constantly in and out of drive-thrus, eating really terrible, crappy quality of food. We're dining at restaurants that we really can't make the best choice. And there is a piece of this that you're going to have to say, maybe what I was doing isn't actually working, okay? And then there's going to be a level of movement. You're going to want to move your body. This is something that very rarely do I have someone not be able to get some steps in or not do a workout. But again, it's like, how much should I do? What kind of workout? And I will tell you that your workouts need to have rhyme and reason that go with them. So right there, I've given you a recipe. That is a recipe for what works, but there are a lot of nuances and there's a lot of very, very specific things that you want calculated for you personally so that you are ensured that, you know what, I am on the right track. I am doing the right things. And as a byproduct, there's data. We have to collect the data. Is she seeing the number on the scale? Are the clothes fitting differently? If you are focusing on those foundational things and the scale is moving, voila, found the perfect recipe for you. If you're focusing on all these things and the scale is not moving, something in there is out of sync, okay? So where I want to go with this is I want to help you understand that when you get into this unknown territory, I want you to be very, very clear on what is your what is your problem when it comes to desiring a different level of health. Like, what problem are you personally experiencing? Is that you don't know how to put together the proper plan? Is it that you don't know how to eat properly? Is it that you're unsure about portions or quality of food? You know, the thing that I want you to always think about is you don't have to start over. You don't have to do a juice cleanse. You don't have to do any cleanse to be completely transparent. And you've got to be willing to work through things when things get tough, when things get frustrating, when things feel out of your control. That's where I'm going to help you personally, like, dial this stuff back in and understand, okay, this is my current problem, and here's what I can do to work through it. Also, want to understand, okay, what is truly driving you? So that's a question that I have for you personally. When you're working towards this health and wellness goal, do you know what's actually driving you? Is it because when you look in the mirror, you want to actually love who you see? Is it when you look in the mirror and those eyes look empty? They have no purpose, no passion, no drive. I know that happened to me personally. I looked in that mirror and I had no clue who that woman was that was staring back at me. I had no idea how much weight I had put on my body. And quite frankly, it wasn't until I saw a picture of myself that I was like, do I really look like that? And, husband shaking head going, I've put a little bit of weight on. And I was like, oh, dang. Okay. So we've got to understand what is actually driving you and motivating you personally, because being someone that you're not isn't going to work. You can't I want to be what Arin said, blah, 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 blah. You got to be you. You got to figure out who it is. You got to understand what's driving and motivating the person listening to this podcast right now. Why does she desire a better level of health? What is it that's really motivating her? And it's okay that you may have to walk away from certain peer groups. Certain people in your life are not lifting you up. Certain people around you are not emulating what it is that you desire to be. See, it is okay for you to outgrow circle of friends. I know that I personally have, and it was really tough. It was really challenging. And that's what I will tell you is being over that hump and through that space and time is it's really fun to design the relationships that you desire now. See, I think so many times we feel like we have to stay friends with the same friend group, and it's okay to outgrow things and people. It doesn't mean that you look down on them. It doesn't mean that you don't potentially hang out with them on certain occasions, but it also means that if you're in a new stage of your life, it's okay to start seeking the friendships and the just relationships that come at a whole nother level. The other thing that I want you to consider is, what do we have to learn along this health journey? See, so many times we'll be like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I haven't seen these results, I can't get past this hump. And you have to ask yourself, what do I need to learn from this situation right now? See, multiple times when I've been getting down to a very nitty-gritty goal that I have, is I've had to really ask myself, hey girl, are you willing to do the things? And logic brain will always say, hell yes, all day, let's go. But then there's that emotional side of you that gets in these moments that you're just like, I don't, screw it, And I will tell you, the longer you work at this and the longer you get really clear on what it is that you're desiring as a certain outcome, i.e. your health goal, certain number on the scale, body fat percentage, lean tissue amount, like you really get honed in on the craft. See, I'm very honed in on what it takes. Every week is very rhythmic. There's no surprises to me when I step on the scale because I know if I did it or if I didn't, and it's all good. And I'm like, hey girl, you want to take this the long way or do you just want to nail the goal? And in my head and state right now today, I just want to nail the goal. And I know you do too. So you want to take any of these lessons, like any of these times you feel like you've made a mistake, like you want to really lean into it and ask yourself, okay, what can I learn in this moment right now? Did I do all the things that I needed? And if you didn't, it's all good. Just own it. I will never forget just the times that I have said to a client like, hey, your food is all good food. I think we need to dial back calories or portions. And then she comes back and says, no, I need to dial back all the food that I don't send you, i.e. the drinks, i.e. the snacks, i.e. And I was like, well, at least you're being honest. And I really appreciate that. And so it gave me an opportunity to say, man, I was racking my brain over here going, all this food is good, but you have to own the moments that you're not giving your part, right? And that's, when you don't have a coach asking the questions, it can be very, very challenging to know what's working, what's not working. But I always appreciate just the honesty in, hey, I do got to own this a little bit more because all that stuff adds up. So want to ask yourself too, like, do I have any fear around hitting this goal? Do I have any guilt that's maybe coming out as a part of hitting this goal? I've had to process multiple times in my life just the guilt and the lack of family members not having their health. And then here I am over here, kind of the weirdo. And I've always been that in my family. And I need to stop even saying that about myself because this is what's important to me. It's important to me to show up a certain way, to present myself a certain way, because A, it makes me feel really, really good. 2, I'm on a huge, huge mission that I truly and sincerely want women to understand that there is a whole nother side. Like you don't have to always be, feeling uncomfortable in your own skin. You don't have to barely fit in the seat. You don't have to get the extender just to sit into the seat on a plane. You shouldn't get passed up for promotions because of how you look or don't look. And it happens. Like as much as I want to say it doesn't, I have had countless women share these things with me that they have said because of my health or lack thereof, or because of how I look or the extra weight that I'm carrying, I didn't get the promotion. Somebody else with equal abilities who I believe is in better shape and health was chosen over me because of a perception or whatever. And listen, she could have made all that up, but I'm going to tell you that we judge no matter what. And we don't do it to be hateful. It's just part of human nature. Human nature is to judge. When someone walks in the door, you have a split second that there is a judgment that comes. And I typically am like, dang, that person's really fit. That's awesome. I want to go talk to them, right? And that's the person that I'm always attracted to instantly when I walk in a room. So I want to challenge you. How quickly can you learn? When you're in this uncharted territory, where am I going with this health goal? What's actually happening right now? I want you to see how quickly you can learn through this journey. Because truly, when we learn, like, man, you bulldoze. You absolutely bulldoze. I remember when we were first learning how to do Facebook ads. Oh my gosh. And that's a constant evolution of understanding and just understanding what works, what doesn't work, what's allowed, what's not allowed, what's allowed today versus tomorrow. And there's such a game to it that if you literally think you understand everything, it changes. It literally changes almost like monthly, daily, probably. So I want you to run towards your outcome. Okay. Run towards what you want. It's going to feel foreign. It's going to feel scary. It's going to be full of unknowns. And should I do this? Should I not do this? Does this work? Does it not work? I'm going to tell you that every time you have a coach helping you towards this, that is going to be money well spent. And I will tell you that it does take a good year for someone to truly change their life, to truly change your life. Think about all the years of behaviors that you're unraveling. And there is so much inside of your big, beautiful noggin that we may have to rewrite. And that's all good. I've had to do it myself and continue to do it myself. So the moral of this story is get so clear on your desired outcome that no matter what you do, you're going to go full force after this goal. You're going to ask the questions. You're going to choose to follow and understand the right things that go into a health goal. No different than if you were looking to get into a new career or if you were looking to do something with your finances. You're going to find all the resources that go straight towards this. And I'm going to tell you, if you're running to your doctor, you just might as well sign up for the different medicines that are available to you, because your doctor is not going to help you with your behavioral and your lifestyle change. Okay. And I say that with a sincere heart. Your doctor wants the best for you. Your doctor wants to treat the disease that you've come in with. Okay. And so cannot keep looking towards these professionals for problems that they don't solve. So I want you to expect to see the results. I want you to expect to get what you need, and I want you to go after them all day.